What's up, you guys? This is Justin here. Welcome to this video where I'm going to talk about the 4 strategies that I use to make $2 million. Good stuff. All right, let's dive right into it. So the first strategy I used is called, or I labeled as, isolation. It's more of a lifestyle decision, but it greatly improved the chances of me becoming successful at business and making money and everything that is involved with a business. So let me break that down for you. Isolation is so important to use as a strategy. So what I particularly did was back in, when was it? It was in 2011, a long time ago. I dropped out of college when I was 18, or I think I was 18 going on 19 years old, basically, right when I dropped out of college. And I basically moved out of my apartment where I had one roommate and basically just lived by myself, okay? During this time, I read like tons of books. I don't know how many, probably over 100 books. They're pretty close in that range. And I studied these product launches that internet marketers were doing. And I basically was just learning as much as possible throughout this process. And being in an isolated environment where I didn't live with anyone, I actually had broken up with my girlfriend as well during this time that I'd been with for about 18 months. Again, I was back about 19 years old. This really allowed me to be so clear and so focused and not literally distracted by anyone or anything at all. Now, I realize not everyone watching this video could probably do this strategy where they're going to be like 100% by themselves, but when you are completely alone, like magic can happen. So ages 19, okay, through 20 to 21, I ended up making like I had my first $100,000 per year business with affiliate marketing, running ads for people who wanted to improve, for lawyers, for people who wanted to improve their credit scores. That worked out pretty well. And then it was crazy. Like if you were when I was 21 years old, I had on my vision board that I wanted to live in a penthouse. And it's funny, age of 19, 20, I was doing really well. In 21, I had a dip. And then I fixed that dip where I ended up selling a business and I made a ton of money in one day. I got cut a check for like 52 grand or something for the business I had that was still very profitable. And then I worked really, really hard again in isolation from August of 2013. And I pretty much had no income during this time of my life. I just had gotten cut a check. I had a lot of credit card lines and some cash. And I literally, within less than 12 months, had a business that was making $1,000 a day. And I was literally in the exact, well, not the exact, but an extremely similar penthouse, paying $4,500 per month for rent, grossing $30,000 a month before a few business expenses and then taxes. But I was doing very well. So isolation is so powerful if you can do it. Again, it's not a prerequisite or required thing for success. It's just something that really worked really well for me, like not dating anyone. And I stayed isolated for about 3 years, maybe. And then before I started like dating, again. And then, and then at some point, as you'll learn later in my YouTube videos, I started buying real estate and like renting out rooms and stuff like that. So I'm no longer in an isolated, completely environment. But in the beginning stages, when you're trying to build a business, like if you're by yourself and all you're thinking about is building your business, you can't begin to imagine how powerful this is. Like if you're single, and again, if you're married or you're already in a relationship, it's fine. You can absolutely still make this work. It might just take a little bit longer because you're going to have some extra distractions. Like if you have a wife or a girlfriend or you have some kids, you can absolutely still get where you're trying to go. It just might take a little bit longer than when you're completely alone. I moved so quickly from like vision board, had no money or no income, like when I was 21 after selling my business, that's why I didn't have income, to like 8 months later in a $4,500 a month penthouse making $30,000 a month. It's crazy. I don't believe I'm exaggerating. I don't believe I'm exaggerating at all. You can check all the penthouse videos on this channel as well. It's pretty, they're pretty cool. And I might go back there with my new camera and actually update it and ask the people who, if someone else lives there now, if I can refilm it. It'd be pretty cool to put on the channel. But yes. So how did I get there so fast? It wasn't just isolation. The second step, or the second strategy I used to make, up to a lot more than 2 million at this point, quite a bit more than 2 million actually, was mentorship. So it's essential that when if you can't even do isolation, that's fine. But it's absolutely, in my opinion, essential to get a really good qualified mentor. How do you pick the right one? There's a couple of ways to go about this. Number one is like the reason I am a very, very successful mentor who sells mentoring services, and look, not a plug, I don't want to sell you anything, but I have really good social proof. So I offered my mentoring program starting in like 2015 to teach people how to create a very specific type of ad service / ad agency, you could call it. And I'm still doing that to this day. In fact, I just closed $8,000 worth of business like this particular week. Not to brag at all about that, but I've been running this mentoring business since 2015, and I've been doing this self-employed, internet marketing stuff since 2011, the last 10, 11 years since I was 19 and I just turned 30. So mentorship's essential. I've paid for mentors. My first mentor, $4,000 I paid, and it resulted in me having a 6-figure business, and it was for affiliate marketing based business. And I just ran ads on Google and Bing, and I did Google SEO, and I paid a lot of commissions for that. It was awesome. My second mentor was $3,000. That turned into like $2 million. Like I don't even know. Like his mentoring was really great, and I also worked with him for a little while, like within his actual business. And then we went separate ways or whatever. But and that also was the case with the first mentor. Like I worked for them. I think I worked for the first mentor for 6 months. I worked for my second mentor for 8 months. So not only did I pay them for mentoring, they actually brought me in as like a 1099 contractor employee, kind of a partnerish role with a percentage based. But those 2 mentorships led to like so much money because those 2 guys had already figured out a lot of stuff. And all I had to do is pay a few $1,000s for them to teach me everything that they had already like figured out. Is crazy. So this is why I'm a successful mentor, and I actually have over 250 successful students who I've taught this very specific niche ad agency model that still works to this day. It's awesome. And my students have made collectively a lot. I'm not going to throw out figures, but it's a lot more than I've made personally. Okay, they collectively, if you add up all their successes, it's a lot more than what I've made personally. So it's cool. It's inspiring, and it's this is just for just to inspire you. That's all this video is about. So I have had other mentors that didn't really work out as well. Like I paid $9,000 to one mentor, $14,000 to another one, $17,500 to another one. And it's kind of funny, like those mentorships were extremely valuable in different ways. They didn't really give me information that I was able to personally use in order to actually, I take that back. There were some ways where I definitely grew my business as a result of those, now that I think about it. But I feel like the first couple of mentorships I had were the most impactful because I was also combining that with isolation. So that's the second key strategy. And if you can put these two together, if you're in isolation and you're getting mentorship, it's like a very potent mix. It's like a fusion of magic where you can move really, really fast. Also, if you get your fiance or your girlfriend or your wife on board and she's fully supporting you if you're a man, or if you're a woman and you get your husband on board and they fully support what you're doing and they even want to maybe contribute and help, then you can move even faster and farther when you have good help from somebody who truly is being supportive. And that brings me to my next point, which is partnership. Strategy number 3 is partnership. So one of the ways I've been so successful is other people have noticed me, like on YouTube before, and Facebook when I'm running a lot of Facebook ads and stuff like that. And when I do media buys on certain websites, people get to know me and they recognize that I am a trusted source in the industry for the type of audiences that I serve. So partnership's been huge, and I've had a lot of people approach me and refer me a ton of business. Like, I know that this is big in certain lines of business. Like, I get almost all of my clients from paid ads. In fact, I love talking about the asymmetric mindset or asymmetric returns on this channel. I've had one particular ad running. Like this week I did a media buy of $100, and it's already brought me in $2,000 in cash collected and $8,000 on paper for a $100 media buy ad. And I've been running this ad for 7 years. This probably made me $1 million net. And I probably spent $5,000 to $10,000 to get $1 million net. I'm not even going to calculate the ROI on that because it's just stupid. That's what I talk about with asymmetric returns on this channel, where you spend almost nothing and you gain a retarded return. So partnerships are huge. Attracting partnerships is awesome. And the way you attract partnerships is by basically becoming good at something. If you can develop a skill at doing something and producing a result for somebody, and then being able to also teach how you do that to other people. Not only can you make money doing it, but you can make money teaching it. And that's what I do. I make money doing ad agency related stuff and teaching it. And yeah, and I combine that with like real estate investing, and it works really well. So partnerships are huge. That's a big key core strategy I've used to help me get to that point. And bringing me to my next fourth strategy with partnerships very close is actually building a team. So I've had my most profitable years ever after deciding to build a team, bringing in people who could manage my clients and fulfill the services, so I no longer had to do that. And then also bringing in and incentivizing people to work for me on a commission basis to bring me more clients, to literally go out there, find interested people, bring them over to me to do the sales calls, or just literally having another guy on my team do the sales calls, to the point where I could pretty much be, during this particular example, doing nothing. I remember in this particular example for this particular year I'm giving you, my gross revenue was $584,000, and I worked like 1 hour a week, which brings about all kinds of simple truths that are really advanced about business that I've learned in my life upon reflection. It's like the less work you do as a business owner, the more money you will make. I'll say that again, the less work you do, the more money you will make. And that's really based off of the fact that you cannot run everything in your business and continue to scale. Like if you have other people generating the leads, other people closing the sales, other people fulfilling the services like I have done, then your income will shoot up drastically, even though you're paying your fulfillment team, even though you're paying commissions for referrals. It's crazy. And during the same year, I raised my prices like really high, and it was nuts. So it's like all the things you read about in like the marketing books on Amazon, stuff like that, they're actually true. You just have to have the right mentality and mindset and be patient and make it work. One bonus strategy I would say that contributed to my success without a doubt, and weathered some storms when I've had rainy days, when I've lost a ton of money on investments, was investing in real estate. When you have a house, every time you pay the mortgage, that mortgage interest and the property taxes, which in my case, in my particular house, is like $1,400 a month. That $1,400 a month in mortgage interest and taxes that you don't get when you're a renter, it literally shields your income. So like $1,400 a month times 12 is a lot of money. It's like 14, probably between 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 grand. That acts as I don't get taxed on that first 16 grand of income, I believe. I'm pretty sure I'm correct about that. I just looked at my tax return for like recently, and I'm pretty sure that's what it said. So you save a ton of money on taxes when you own a house, and you get like $500 or $600, like in my case, per month. Every time I pay the mortgage, goes right to principal. So I'm just turning cash into equity, which I can redeem someday when I sell the house or do a cash out refinance. So investing in real estate is probably like the fifth bonus major way that I've gotten to that 2 million mark. And so here's some quick tips for beginners. You don't need to do isolation, but it helps if you can. That's the first thing. You can still be living with like 2, 3, 4 roommates and still be isolated. You just be in your room. What it means really is you just kind of cut off like all the certain hobbies, like, drinking, going out, doing whatever it is you do, you could reinvest that time doing something else, and just not being around people who like to do those activities where you feel like you'd be missing out. So isolation is useful. You don't have to do it permanently. It's a temporary sacrifice that gives you insane focus. Okay. And when you have insane focus combined with mentorship, because when you have mentorship and you're not fully isolated, like he or she, your mentor, can give you the exact steps to success. But if you keep getting like sidetracked by, people you might be living with or just the situation, you're going to move more slowly. And when you move slowly, you're less likely to succeed than if you move quickly. In this particular context and example for building an online business successfully, the people who take action as fast as possible, in my opinion, because I've mentored over 400 people now who've paid me a lot of money, and I've had over 250 success stories. My success rates are really high. Again, I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to tell you from my life experience that people who move quickly are the ones who I normally see produce long-lasting, consistent results. And how you move quickly is when you're not distracted. And you're not going to be distracted if you're isolated. And then partnerships, huge. Those will come naturally. Like when you follow your mentor's advice, one of the biggest pieces of advice I give people as a mentor is to network with people, because the more you network with people, the more people who know you and they know what you do and they know the solutions you offer to problems you can solve. And thus that creates more opportunities for you to get referrals, referred free business, and get partnerships or joint ventures for somebody else who might have clients they can refer to you, where you can make a ton of money. This has happened to me so many times, and it's a big key component of why I've made so much money in a short period of time. So yeah, those partnerships are just huge. And then building a team, just remember that. Like when you want to scale past the $100,000 a year mark, when you have other people generating the leads, doing organic marketing, like setting appointments, other people closing those appointments, and then you just raise your prices, you'll be working way less, making way more. My life experience has taught me this, and I've observed other people very successful in the coaching industry and the business training industries, and who completely vindicate this statement. So I hope you got a ton of value out of this video. If you liked it, please hit the like button and subscribe. I'm going to be producing content like this very consistently, like every week. So you rock. See you on the next video. Bye for now.